House of Whispers. They say every house has its secrets, but some hold terrors that breathe and bleed like the living. In the heart of an unsuspecting town, the old Victorian mansion known as Briar Lane stands foreboding, a decaying relic of forgotten whispers and lost souls. The Morgan family did not know the heart of the storm they were stepping into as they moved in, leaving an unsettling past behind, before the shadows caught up to them. The night of their arrival was saturated with rain. Thunder rumbled ominously in the distance, as if the heavens themselves were warning them to turn back. They arrived at the towering gates of Briar Lane, a sprawling structure looming against the darkening sky, its once grand facade now encrusted with moss and decay. Its windows, glazed with grime, resembled the eyes of a predator lurking just out of sight. Hailey Morgan, with wide eyes and a pounding heart, stepped from the car clutching Ethan's hand. A 7-year-old Ethan, lost in wonder and dread, gazed curiously at the house. "It looks like it's been crying," he whispered, his voice barely above the howling wind. His words sent a chill down Hailey's spine, but she forced a smile, dismissing the feeling as exhaustion from their harrowing journey. "We're going to make this a home, my love," she reassured, looking at Ethan and then turning to Alex, her husband. "A place filled with love and laughter." But as the storm raged inside, the air was thick with a different kind of tension. Shadows danced across the walls, and peculiar sounds echoed through the halls like a melody of sorrow. Hailey shrugged it off as the house settling, yet a dark feeling gnawed at her gut. That night, Hailey was jolted awake by a muffled scream splitting the silence. Ethan. Bursting into his room, she found him sitting upright in bed, eyes wide and filled with terror. "Mom! There's someone in my room," he shouted, trembling uncontrollably. Hailey turned on the light to reveal nothing, but the chilling memory of his words clung to the air. As days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, seeping through the walls like a chilling fog. The darkness seemed to pulse, playing tricks on their minds. Ethan began to retreat deeper into silence, speaking less as if he were losing his grip on reality. Hailey found him one morning, huddled in a corner, scribbling furiously in a notebook, panic etched across his face. "The lady with no eyes," he muttered as he covered his ears. "She's coming for me." Heart pounding, Hailey knelt beside him. "Who, sweetheart? Who is she?" "The lady in the mirror," he whispered hoarsely, pointing toward the cracked, tarnished mirror hanging on his wall. Its glass shimmered, distorting their reflection, making it appear as though a dark shadow flickered just behind them. Hailey's pulse quickened. Frantically, she pulled Ethan into her arms, but the weight of dread pressed upon her. They decided to turn to a local librarian, Ms. Dalton, who had lived in the town her entire life. "Briar Lane," she muttered when they mentioned the house, her eyes dimming with recognition. "It has a history, a dark one. Children lived there once, long ago. They say some never left." Those words hung heavy in the air, a portent that twisted the knife of fear deeper into Hailey's heart. Determined to protect her family, she dove headlong into research, uncovering tales of an orphanage once housed within the mansion's sprawling walls. A fire had ravaged the grounds decades ago, a tragedy that claimed lives and trapped souls, weaving their pain into the very fabric of the house. As night fell, the house turned into something unrecognizable, dread seeped from the walls, and shadows shifted under the doorways. One night, Hailey descended to the kitchen for a glass of water, only to hear soft, childlike giggles echoing from the living room. Her blood ran cold. She stepped cautiously towards the sound, her heart racing with each step. She peered around the corner to find toy blocks strewn across the floor, spelling out a name, Amelia. A chill swept through her as a cold breeze brushed past her, carrying whispers of laughter. Suddenly, the air turned dense, making every breath feel like a struggle. Hailey turned to flee, but paused as she caught sight of a thin, pale figure standing just at the edge of her vision, a little girl with hollow eyes that seemed to absorb all light, clutching a tattered doll. "Help me," the figure mouthed silently, and Hailey stumbled back, gasping, confusion and terror raging within her. "Ethan," she screamed, bolting back to her son's room. But Ethan was not there. In his place was the mirror, now reflecting not just her own terrified face, but also the girl's, pressing against the glass, a ghastly smile twisting across her features, her eyeless gaze seeming to bore into Hailey's soul. "Help me," the girl whispered in a voice that echoed with despair. That night, terror consumed the Morgans. Hailey and Alex found themselves thrust into a nightmare, sleep-deprived and scared. Ethan grew increasingly withdrawn, speaking in hushed tones to invisible companions whom only he could see. The once vibrant boy became fragile, his laughter replaced by haunted silence. In a desperate attempt to rid their family of the house's grasp, Hailey contacted a ghost-hunting team known as the Spectral Seekers. They arrived armed with devices to detect supernatural activity, their bravado tinged with uncertainty. They set up what looked like a mini laboratory in the living room, their equipment flashing ominously against the backdrop of the dark, crumbling house. Night descended, heavy and oppressive, as the investigators began the séance. "We are here to connect with any spirits that linger in this house, and we invite you to communicate with us," the lead investigator, Linda, called out, her voice echoing against the silence. The candles flickered and the walls sighed, a hollow, reverberating sound that seemed to beckon. What happened next can only be described as a descent into madness. The lights flickered in rapid succession, leaving them in almost complete darkness. Suddenly, a wave of icy air swept through the room, extinguishing candles and sending shivers through their minds. Then came whispers, dozens of them, swirling around the group, rising into a cacophony of sorrowful pleas. "Help us! Help us!" the voices cried, an anguished chorus that closed in around them. Ethan bolted upright in the far corner, eyes wide and glassy, speaking out as if in a trance. "They want to play," he laughed, a sound twisted with fear. "They like you. They want to keep you." The investigators exchanged fearful glances as an unseen force slammed a door shut with a bone-rattling thud. A heavy weight of dread pulled at Hailey, threatening to snap her sanity. In a sudden moment of clarity, Hailey remembered the history, the children from the orphanage who sought freedom. "We have to help them," she screamed over the chaos. "We have to set them free." But it was too late. Isaac, a seemingly benign investigator, revealed his sinister nature, a dark smirk curling across his lips. "You think you can help them? I'm the one who has been sustaining their spirits. They are my power." He stepped forward, the air crackling with his malevolence. As the room plunged into chaos, chairs flew, candles exploded, and shadows grew into haunting figures that surged forward, crying for vengeance. It was then that Ethan stepped forth, the innocence in his heart somehow managing to pierce through the darkness. "You can be free," he shouted, his little voice booming across the chaos. "You don't have to stay here." Light swirled around him, and the very essence of the murmuring children descended into an ethereal glow. A soft mist enveloped Hailey and Alex, filling their hearts with courage as the spiritual realm heated up. "Join me," Ethan continued, his small hands raised toward the spirits trapped within. "Together, let's break this curse." The swirling chaos subsided as if time held its breath, a gravitational pulse drawing the lost souls toward the light emanating from Ethan. The darkness shrieked, and Isaac's form twisted in rage, desperately trying to hold onto the shadows that had sustained him. With one final explosion, a blinding light engulfed the room, illuminating every shadow until they were nothing but whispers against the fading night. The spirits surged past Isaac, their anguished cries morphing into a symphony of relief as they broke free from Briar Lane's haunted grasp. As the light faded and silence settled over the house, Isaac was drawn into the void, swallowed by the very darkness he had used to fuel his existence. The echoes of the children's laughter filled the air one last time before drifting away, a bittersweet farewell that painted the house in peace. With the morning sun creeping through the tattered curtains, Hailey and Alex woke to an unfamiliar stillness. No longer did the walls groan with despair, no longer did shadows watch them with hollow eyes. Ethan lay asleep, a peaceful smile gracing his face, a stark contrast to the terror that had once enveloped him. As they packed their belongings, ready to leave Briar Lane behind forever, Hailey cast one last glance at the once foreboding silhouette of the mansion. The windows now seemed softer, the shadows less threatening. Yet, deep within her, a question lingered like a ghost: would the house truly be free of its whispers, or would the memories of those lost souls remain forever entwined with its very core? The Morgans drove away, leaving the shadows of Briar Lane behind, but the weight of their experience would haunt them in the quiet moments, the unshakable reminder of the darkness they conquered and the light they had ignited in the face of terror. Thanks for watching Dark Tales. If you enjoyed this story, please consider to like and subscribe. Leave us a comment about your favorite horror story. See you next time.